was that for? I'm drinking water.
Did you know that after you drink all the water, you're gonna have to throw the bottle away?
I mean, yeah, I was just gonna recycle it. Jeez.
Okay, but did you know that less than 10% of all discarded plastics actually gets recycled each year?
So what are you trying to say then?
What I'm saying is we need to put this thing down, live a more sustainable life.
Did you know that 80% of the plastic water bottles that we buy end up in landfills?
Landfills are extremely harmful to the environment. Not only do they contaminate our groundwater with leachates and toxins, but they also release greenhouse emissions into the atmosphere. So the last thing we want is for our landfills to be overflowing with plastics.
Whew, boy was that run nice. Just need to freshen up real quick. What are you doing?
I'm just trying to have a moment here.
Well, you can have your moment without the tap running.
But what's the big deal?
Did you know letting the faucet run for just 5 minutes while you're maybe doing something else can actually waste about 10 gallons of water? And I mean, that's not a good idea with the drought problem going on in California. And actually, and that happens in a lot of other places too. So you don't want to be the cause to a problem like that.
So what can I do?
Well, just something like not letting the water run while you're doing other things can really help out.
Each time someone leaves the faucet running while brushing their teeth, 4 gallons of water goes down the drain.
Think about this. A family of 4 who turns off their faucet every time they brush their teeth will save about 11,000 gallons a year.
Hey, you're the girl that's been promoting sustainable lifestyles across school, aren't you?
Yeah,
But I couldn't help but notice that you're eating packaged meat. Don't you know that eating meat, though, can increase your carbon footprint? A carbon footprint is the amount of carbon that's released into the atmosphere from our daily activities and lifestyles.
do you have any idea on how I can reduce my carbon footprint?
Yeah, that's simple. You don't have to completely cut meat out of your diet, but you could always cut out meat from a few days from your diet.
How is putting meat in my mouth releasing carbon emissions into the atmosphere?
It's not you, it's actually from the process of creating meat.
Oh.
More so from CAFOs, which are concentrated animal feeding operations.
Uh-huh.
These CAFOs produce a ton of carbon, they produce a ton of waste, and they also require a ton of resources. So CAFOs, in some ways, increases your carbon footprint.
Eating meat can contribute a lot to the release of greenhouse gases into our atmosphere. So cutting our meat consumptions from our life just a tad bit can really reduce our carbon footprint and mitigate the amount of emissions that we release into the atmosphere.
Hey, wait up.
Oh, what's up?
By any chance, could I get a ride home today?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. I always prefer carpooling better because you're emitting less greenhouse gases in the atmosphere since we're all in the same car and there's less cars on the road.
Since you brought up the point that there's less cars on the road, don't you think biking would be better instead because bikes don't even release greenhouse emissions?
You know what? You're so right. Let's bike home today.
Of course, we can't bike everywhere, especially places that are further away. But if we were to bike or even walk to places that are nearby, it could really have a positive impact on our environment.
Now, these are just some of the ways that you can be more sustainable in your community.
As humans, we tend to act on our own interests, and we often forget the negative impacts our actions have on the environment.
But it's important to know that even a little change in our lifestyles can go a long way into helping our environment.